Hey guys, Beachhead here with the Smith & Wesson M&P Bodyguard, as well as 3 holsters that I want to talk to you guys about. Going left to right, I have the DeSantis Insider holster, the DeSantis Inside Heat, and then lastly, all the way on the right, is the Concealment Express Kydex Holster. On Amazon, you can pick up the Insider for around $17, the Inside Heat for around $28.60, and the Concealment Express for around $35. So they're all pretty relatively cheap holsters, and they all are actually well constructed. So I want to talk to you guys about them. I want to juxtapose them a little bit and tell you why I chose the Concealment Express over both DeSantis. So the first one really appealed to me because the price, just super cheap, 17 bucks for a holster. What is that? So I was really hoping that I could get away with carrying that. And it's a good holster. It does the job. It holds your pistol. It keeps the trigger guard free from anything that wants to pull the trigger. It conceals well. It stays on your belt. The thing that I just don't like about it is when you draw, if it's inside the waistband, which this is, your belt will collapse the holster. So either it's a two-handed reholster, or you're going to have to do some awkward thing with the muzzle to spread those. And so I just don't like I don't like holsters like that. I have a belly band for the Bodyguard, and it just drives me nuts that anytime I have to reholster, I have to use two hands. So I instantly ruled that out, unfortunately. But again, if you're okay with a two-handed holster, and if you just want a very cheap but effective holster, the DeSantis Insider is a good option. $17, you can't really go wrong there, and it does. It will keep your guns concealed. It'll keep your gun on your person. It does what it's supposed to do. The next step up is the DeSantis Inside Heat, which was more appealing to me because it was a little bit more well constructed. It is leather still, and I really wanted to like a leather holster. I just think they're cool. They look cool. They are a lot more comfortable. This thing is one of the most comfortable holsters I've felt. But there's some things that just made me rule it out. This one, I'm not sure if it's just leather in here or if they put some like spring steel or something like that to keep it open. But it does stay open even when it's inside your waistband. So you can draw and reholster one-handed. It's very nice. It's a quick draw, quick drawing holster. It's smooth. It's comfortable. The thing that I dislike the most about these two is the clip. They're the same clip on both, and it does the job. It holds it to your belt, but it's very hard to get on. And the reason being is, if you'll see in there's a little piece of metal right down in there that helps to keep it retained to your belt, but when you're sliding it on, you have to really bend it out that far to get onto your belt and over your pants. So if you're carrying, 4 o'clock position or anything behind there, it's very hard because you can't really see it to adjust it. So appendix, even with appendix, is hard, but appendix, you're at least able to see your belt line and kind of navigate it through and into your belt. So that's one of the reasons why I ruled this one out. Another reason why is inherently leather does not have retention. It's only friction. And so when it's in there, and it has some retention, but it's just friction. And so if you're in a scuffle, it's a lot easier for it to slide out, and you could lose your firearm. So the next one in is the Concealment Express Kydex Holster. I've had mostly Kydex holsters for all my concealment stuff, and I like Kydex. I didn't want to like this one because it was the most expensive one. I wanted a cheap holster, and I wanted a leather holster, but for my POU, for my philosophy of use, for what I want in a holster, it does the job. Granted, it's definitely not perfect, and I'll get to that. So, face value, it's a great holster. It's well formed. There's not a lot of wasted space. It's relatively cheap. $35 is a pretty good deal for a Kydex holster. Things that I don't like about it is because it is cheap, the quality control is not the greatest. The edges are kind of sharp. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel the edges and just kind of soften those up. Also kind of pinched, and yeah, it wasn't the most comfortable when it was concealed on my person. And so what I ended up doing is putting a little bit of moleskin on it, and that tremendously helped. The moleskin is sticking on there. It's been a couple weeks since I put it on there. It hasn't peeled off yet, so I've been happy with that. But I still think I'm going to either put some more on down here and bevel the edges a little bit. Another thing that I don't really like the greatest about this is the clip. It's big and bulky. It's easy to slide on. It's for the most part secure, but it just seems like it's ginormous. It also rotates pretty easily, and so it shifts around. I notice myself having to adjust the holster a lot throughout the day, which is not good. I'm used to holsters like this, the Travis Haley Incog holster with their loops here, their clips. And these have been the best clips that I've ever experienced. They're great. They don't move around. They are easy to get on, easy to get off. Good stuff. But we're talking about these. So, back to this. Another thing that I don't like is when the firearm is in there, you'll notice it has a good retention, good positive snap in there. That's what I like. But something that sketches me out is, look at that. You can slide the pistol out just a little bit. I don't know how unsafe that is, but it just makes me feel a little uncomfortable that my trigger guard can be partially exposed even when it's all the way in the holster. You can fix that by tightening the retention, but it does loosen up over time. But like I said, it has good retention. It is easy to draw, easy to reholster. With Kydex, you don't have to worry about the holster wearing down over time. It will stay pretty much how it is for the rest of its life. And that's pretty much the reason why I picked the Concealment Express holster over the others, is the durability of it, the retention of it. It's not going to come out in a scuffle. The ease to get on the belt loop. All of those reasons, I felt that this one fit my philosophy of use a little more. So I'm going to return these. One thing to note that I forgot to mention is the most concealable out of the three was the Inside Heat. And the reason for this is, now granted I think this is pretty close because they're essentially the same design, but the reason that this conceals better than the Concealment Express is because the pistol actually sits lower on the belt line by like almost an inch. And so it made it for a much more concealable holster, but with draw strokes and stuff like that, it was a lot harder to get a good grasp on the gun. And I noticed that when I was drawing from this holster, my draws were fumbly and they're a lot slower on target than with the Concealment Express. So all of those reasons considered, I'm choosing to keep the Concealment Express begrudgingly because I wanted to spend less money and I wanted a leather holster, but this just fits all of my criteria for a good holster. I hope this has been informal, and I hope this will help you guys save some money as you guys are juxtaposing different options for your concealment needs. This has been Beachhead. Thanks for watching, guys. Out. One other holster that I wanted to talk about real quick is the DeSantis Superfly. This is a pocket holster. It's very nice. It does the job. Great concealability if you can't have a clip showing on your belt. So if you have a tucked in shirt or something like that, and you want to be concealed but formal, the DeSantis Superfly is a good option. They have another one that's slightly cheaper called the Nemesis, and I guess rubberized stippling is a little bit different, a little bit cheaper holster than that. But also the Superfly comes with this thing, which is just a little flap that helps conceal and hide the shape of the holster even more. So it's in when it's in the pocket, it looks like a wallet or something like that. One thing that frustrates the crap out of me is all the wasted space. When you put it on the Velcro right there where it's supposed to be, there's almost an inch of wasted fabric, and it's huge. In the pocket, it just looks ridiculous. There's no wallet that's that big. So what I'd really like to see is for them to shorten it up, maybe right around here, so it's flush with the actual handgun. It's still going to hide your printing, but it's going to look a lot more like a wallet than a ridiculous full pocket. Unfortunately, too, the Velcro doesn't go far enough that I can do that. So what I might do is I might make myself another flap. The Nemesis does not have Velcro in here, so if you want the flap, you're going to have to get the Superfly. Another thing to consider with the M&P Bodyguard is if you don't have the laser, like I don't, you'll need to modify this one. I just put a little bit of fishing line, and I put the firearm in the holster, and kind of felt out where it would give me better retention, and then I put some fishing line in there, sewed a little fishing line to keep it a little tighter, and that has done wonders. It's not sliding out anymore like it used to. That being said, all three of these holsters will work with or without the laser, so you don't need to worry about that. Again, this is Beachhead. Thanks for watching. I really hope that this has been informational and helpful for you guys. Take care.